Here's to spilling some tea today. Woo. So today is our first episode with no alcohol.
We're on the peppermint tea.
The peppermint tea. Today is going to be slightly more
Just chill. Different location.
Oh yeah, got the sparkly leopard print.
Yeah, on the chaise lounge.
Chaise lounge. And today we're doing the first instalment of a bit of like a girl talk. And we put some questions out on our socials, and we've had some responses and some dilemmas, and then also just some like topics basically to just discuss.
That should start.
Yeah, just gonna put our 2 pence in basically where it's not wanted.
Yeah. So pre the nails.
Oh,
We both got our nails done.
yeah.
Just on my phone.
Just looking and scrolling. The effects of social media on friendships, especially toxic ones. So what's your initial thoughts on that?
Well, definitely, obviously, FOMO.
That's
the worst thing.
That's just what social media is just basically based on, isn't it?
Especially from being at uni and then most of my friends being at home and seeing them all together. That's literally like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
They like want to FaceTime me all together. I'm just like, I'm too sad.
And FOMO can be like 2 things. It's like you actually can't be part of it because you're busy or you're away. Or also social media can just basically tell you when you're not invited to things. But I think most people have been on both sides of that, haven't they? Like, you've been the one that hasn't been invited, and you've also been the one that's not invited someone. It's not always in a malicious way.
Sometimes you feel like you have to lie, just because you just either can't be, like you're feeling like you just can't be bothered to do something with them. Or it's just like one of them days, you know what I mean? And then you feel like you can't post on social media, or like sometimes I'll feel like, oh my god, I can't go on Snapchat because they'll just see where I am.
Snap maps. Exactly.
Because sometimes I'll just look on Snap maps and being nosy. I'm like, oh, they're there.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're together.
I'm like, oh,
why aren't I there?
Yeah.
I keep seeing something going around online recently, and it's just people trying to say like we need to normalise being able to say to people, I actually just don't want to see you today, and it not being personal, like it's not a personal attack. Some days, I don't think there's anyone that hasn't sometimes just hoped that their plans will be cancelled.
Yeah. Or like, especially I know with my group of friends, I do love you guys, but you are a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of plans.
Especially when there's a big group of you all the time, it is a lot.
Handle.
It just turns, every single time you meet up, turns into an event.
An event, yeah.
Sometimes you just don't want it to be an event.
And it's a new outfit, and it's loads of money on alcohol, and it's a night out.
Not until like the past year or so, especially with me, my group's been very small, but we have broadened out.
Yeah, you have, definitely.
We've suddenly got this big group now, and I feel like I was definitely not used to that, because there used to be like 3 or 4 of us.
I've always noticed that about, like, if they're watching, you guys know who we're talking about. But I think it's so nice. I've always thought that, like, it started a few people, but that to me just shows, like, those people's characters are just so welcoming, because most friendship groups, do you think, like, most just, like, it stays how it is and it stays the people, but like, you've made friends and joined them, and then they've made friends and they've brought other people. And it's made this big, like, group, which is really nice, but it can be a lot.
It's just the girls now.
So, effects of social media on friendships, I think we've covered that.
Yeah.
Basically FOMO. But then the second part was especially toxic ones. Social media being negative in a toxic way, as in, like, blocking and unfollowing people.
No, personally, I don't even know why. I just think in my head, I just feel like I would follow my friends, and I'd follow maybe even just like mutual friends. Just because it's just a follow, it's nothing to me. But then people unfollow me, and I'm just like, am I that annoying? Like, do you hate me that much?
Yeah, but the thing is that's because you know who's following you and who isn't.
I know. Don't ever download a unfollow app.
Don't do it, because it's just dangerous for your health.
Because I'm like, wow, this person unfollowed me.
So what does that mean?
I've not spoken to them in 4 years, but still. But like,
yeah.
I do get it, but
you overthink
there's some people that I'm like, well, that's rude. But I need to just delete the app, don't I? It's becoming a problem. Not a problem.
No, it's not a problem.
I just like being nosy.
You just like to know, like...
I like being nosy.
But yeah, I just think it's toxic for friends in that way because you can hurt people's feelings by not inviting them places and blasting it online. But then I also do get it from the other side where sometimes, like, it's not, I don't like you. It's like
you, especially the big group of girls, you can't invite everyone to everything. Like, you can't.
Especially recently.
No, not with like COVID and everything. You can't.
You can't. But I don't think it's like that. I think just everyone just understand that everyone has a busy life and they can't always see everyone. I think advice wise, I just think always try and see things from both perspectives. So if I do see some friends out without me, it might hurt your feelings for like 2 seconds, and I think, oh, there's been times I've been out without them.
You just think, I'm out as well, like, we're both out without each other.
Or
so that's happened to me a few times, and I've been out, and then there's somebody else that I know out, and I'm like, oh, wow, should we have just came together? It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. You do, it's like a give and take thing, so maybe in that case you need to maybe wonder whether you're trying as well. Like, maybe if you're not being invited somewhere and you're getting upset, is it because maybe you're not putting any effort in as well?
It is hard with friendships, especially when around this age. I feel like when everyone's kind of at uni or they're working, like everyone's in different points of their life. And some people are buying houses and like they just can't afford to go out. Some people are like having babies. Some people are at uni, like some people don't
Priorities
work.
are in different places.
It's hard to keep up with everyone and everyone be on the same.
No one is, so
level.
You just have to accept that, basically. But I think we went off on a bit of a tangent, but that's okay.
It's okay.
It's fine. There's no rules here. Okay, so next dilemma. I'm hoping that this isn't something that this person has experienced themselves because it's very sad, but a close friend putting you down in front of others.
But then there is always those times where things that start as a joke, or you say it's like a running joke between people. Not a joke, but it's like light-hearted. And then without you even knowing, it's getting to that person and it goes too far. And it's just a bit like...
And then they have a moment where they break and all of a sudden you realise that actually what you've been saying is hurting them or upsetting them. I think then in that situation, that's a bit of a situation where you're like, oh my God, I didn't realise it upset them that much.
Yeah, because it can be like little things. Like I know with friends that I've had or even relationships that I've had, jokes will go on about the person that have done something bad, or even like family, like you joke about someone's family or you joke about their relationship, and then in your head sometimes it's funny, but then sometimes it's like, how you're not allowed to say about it.
I'm allowed to say it, but you're that kind of situation happens quite often where it's like, well, I'm allowed to say that, but I'm not sure if you are. There's a difference between like saying something about yourself and then it's like, oh, I'm allowed to say it, but you're not. But then if this happened in like a malicious way where someone's just saying in front of people, like putting you down, that's just not on.
I think it's hard because sometimes you feel like, especially in a group where, if you're in a group setting, or even just one-on-one, it's a bit awkward, especially when you've been friends with that person. You can't be like, you can't say that. It's quite awkward.
Yeah, it is. It would take a lot of balls to be like, oh, actually, I don't like that you've said that.
It depends what situation I was in, if that happened to me. I feel like I feel like I just kind of say what I think anyway, but when it's like a close friend and you think that they think a certain way of you and they say something, you're like, oh, that's not what I thought this was.
I'm trying to think of like an example of like something someone might say about you in front of someone. Like surely it wouldn't be as simple as someone being like, you're ugly.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like it would be more. It would be like character assassination. I feel like,
or like you put on a bit of weight or something like that.
Oh maybe something like that. Oh yeah, okay, I've got an example. So this isn't like directly rude, but maybe if, like, for example, if like you're in a group setting and someone came in and was like, oh, I have this, like, this used to fit me, or like, oh, this is too big for me, but it might fit you because you're right. But I don't know. Yeah,
it is hard because, especially with weight, that's a hard topic because it's very easy to offend people, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to think like what else people might say. Like if it was about your personality, something that you can't
quite
change
loud,
about
aren't you? You're being a bit loud.
God, I feel like I've had that before.
Or I've had it. I've actually said it before, and then I think, why did I say that?
Like,
I'm just like, oh, everyone's been a bit quiet today, just because I'm in Just because I'm loud doesn't mean you have to be loud. I'm just quite a loud person in some situations.
And then that kind of puts pressure on everyone.
Yeah.
And they're like, am I?
I've done that before. And then I see everyone panicking, like...
Gotta think of something to say.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, no, but it was.
Okay, so what would we do in these situations? If it was a joke that's ongoing and people are taking it a bit far and they're saying it in front of people and it's embarrassing you, I feel like sometimes this kind of happens about people's like sexual history.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like people make jokes about that quite often, and sometimes it starts funny, but then it can really like be a bit rude, especially if it's around people that maybe don't know you as a person. Yeah. Then in that case, I think you have to like gently the first time, let them know that like, oh, I don't really want everyone knowing that. I think maybe the first time it'd be okay to say it in a jokey way, and then if it was to happen again, I think I'd probably be like, oh, maybe don't say that in front of all those people. It's kind of embarrassing.
I think you just got to remember that if it's your friend, and if you feel strongly against what they've said, then they should respect what you think as well. And I wouldn't be scared to say it, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen? Like you're not. Most of the time, you're not going to fall out about it. It's just going to be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. Like, if they're a nice person. Anyway.
Yeah, if someone said that to me, said like, oh, you keep making a joke about me, and actually it's making me feel quite upset. I think I'd get really upset with myself for not noticing, but I don't think it would cause I would never. Argument.
Our advice would probably be to just always, even if it's just a message on like text or Instagram, like they're not going to not reply if they're like a really close friend.
You just say, oh, by the way, earlier, like I don't really want you to like talk about that in front of people or something like that. And then if it was someone's just being downright rude about you, don't even put up with it. That's just mean.
I think we need to normalise getting rid of toxic people, because
get them out.
It's hard. Like, you have this person that's just like constantly bringing you down. Why would you want to put in effort with them?
It's a leech on your life.
It is. That's a good saying.
It's literally just leeching the life out of you. Like,
I feel like I've had that before. People leech off my life, and then in the end, I just stop putting in the effort.
I feel like if you haven't had someone do that to you, maybe you're the person doing it.
Oh my god. But like, I've had it before where I actually feel sorry for the person, so I'm helping them out, and then I just sit back, I'm like,
why am I doing this?
They wouldn't do this for me, they've done nothing for me, and then I literally stopped messaging that person. I just thought, I'm just going to leave it a bit and see what happens, and then I never heard from them again. So it's like, or I did, and it was just like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you can't expect me to do everything. I'm not your mum.
That's the thing. I had a conversation recently with a friend. I won't out the person. They might watch though, and they'll know that I'm talking about them, but we were basically talking about this kind of situation and toxic friends, and we both were discussing like how we'd both experienced it, and we handled it completely differently. And this person, my friend, was basically saying that they were really like straight up with it. Well, in the beginning, they tried to just fizzle the relationship out, and the person did not grasp the concept. Basically, they didn't get the hint. So then after a while, after probably a couple of drinks, my friend then literally just said to them, you are toxic, I don't want to spend any more time with you. And it was quite harsh, but you have to be harsh.
Sometimes you have to be, otherwise it ends up just going on and it makes you feel bad. I think it's always important to put your own feelings and emotions first. Yeah. Even if it might like disrupt a group setting, or it might feel a bit awkward, but at the end of the day, it's only you that's there for you in the end, like, pretty much. You know what I mean? If
someone's being mean about you in front of other people, boo them, and just, I suggest, like, what would you suggest doing?
Sashay
away. I personally would just kind of try and see if it will fizzle out on its own. I'd stop putting the effort in myself.
Take yourself out of the situation, because sometimes it makes you both realise that it was only a one-way thing. Yeah. So you take yourself out, and then sometimes it could just stop. But if not, then
you're obviously not meant to be friends if that's happening as well.
It shouldn't be such an effort to be friends with somebody.
You're not meant to be nasty to friends. So obviously that person, I don't know whether maybe they're jealous of you, or you're just not compatible, or maybe they're holding a grudge of something you once said years ago. Like, no matter what the situation is, try and slip away, and if it doesn't work, be honest.
If that doesn't work, slip away if that doesn't work.
literally
goodbye.
Goodbye.
You're toxic.
Sometimes you have to. Like, if you try and be nice...
But you don't even have
work,
to do it in person. Just do it over fucking...
Who cares?
Text message.
They say it's like a wimpy thing to do, but sometimes it's just the easiest.
way. Yeah.
Friendships should be easy and you shouldn't have to put loads of work in. So I feel like there's two sides to this, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like I do have so many of those friends that you don't see that often, but when you do see them, it's like normal and like nothing's changed.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to be talking every day to be friends with somebody. Like, it's nice to have a catch up every now and then, but everyone's life is so hectic and so busy. You can't keep up with all the people that you're friends with. Like, you just can't. It's impossible.
It is impossible. I think there's loads of people. There's two like schools of thought on this. Like, some people think that a friendship is like a relationship and you need to work on it just like a relationship. Personally, I don't agree with that. Like, I mean, I've already got a relationship that I have to do enough like work on. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really have time or effort or energy to do that in friendships as well. I know some friends require a bit more than others, and that's just because some people are a little bit more needy. Not saying that in a mean way, some people just are, and that's okay. But I have to draw the line at some point. Like, if you're like needing reassurance that I'm like your friend all the time, or like
paragraphs on that you missed them out on something, you haven't spoke to them in ages.
I can't be bothered for it. That's such a turn off for me. Like,
I think that there is a difference where it's like you're both just busy, or it's like you're purposely not making an effort. Or especially, just say for an example, if you got into a new relationship and maybe you're not making as much effort with your friends, it's so easy to do. Like,
it happens to most people.
Oh my
it's
god,
natural.
it's so easy to do, but you just have to like get like a boyfriend friend balance. Otherwise, if something bad happened and you're not with that boy anymore, you're not with whoever anymore. You go back to your friends and it's just like, oh, I haven't actually spoke to you in months.
They're going to feel a bit used.
Yeah, it's like you're being used. Or like, just say your boyfriend's busy and they're like, oh, I'll hang out with you now. I'm like,
oh, will you now?
You can see, your friends know that. Your friends know.
Well, I think with that kind of situation, firstly, it comes with age and maturity. Like, I think when I was a teenager, I always have been, and I think most of my friends like from school will probably agree, like, I've never really been a clingy friend. I've never really been that kind of person. I've always liked to do my own thing. I think that probably has been to do with just being in a relationship the whole time as well. I didn't have like the need, because I had that elsewhere. But
then you know what I mean? I just make you talk to me every single day.
Well, no, but that's the thing as well. Like, there is some times where you will talk to someone and it really does feel like a chore to like message them. And that doesn't mean you're not friends with them. It just means I just want to see you in person and catch up in person.
Sometimes I just can't text people because it's like, you don't really know what to say. Like, oh, what have you been doing? I'm like, well, literally nothing. Like, I don't just do the same thing. Like, I prefer to see you go for a drink, have a catch up like that. That means more to me than texting me.
Yeah, but when you say like, oh, you text me every day, like, yeah, we text every day, but it's not like, hi, how are you? It's
look
like,
at this TikTok.
It's like, look at this TikTok, or it's like making plans. It's not random conversation. No. It's the random conversation that I can't really deal with.
Like, hi, how are you? What have you been doing? I was like, I don't know, look at my Instagram. I don't know. What?
In that case, I'd prefer to just say, oh, can I see you next week? And we'll do all of that in person instead.
Yes.
It'd be so much easier. Do you have any experiences of this?
Well, I feel like you have an experience of this.
Yeah, I mean...
You want to talk about
I'll just talk about, like, one section of a very long story, which could be a story time for another day, maybe. But, yeah, I had a situation within the last few years where I kind of had to completely cut someone out. A very, very toxic person. Like, Ella saw all of that situation.
It was hard because... she literally lived with you.
Yeah, it was a different... Like, I don't really care. Firstly, she's blocked me on everything, so if she does see this, you really have to look for it.
Which surprises me, because, you know, and it's like, why are you blocking me?
Oh, God. But, yeah, so I had to cut someone out. It was quite a drastic time, but it really had to happen.
I feel like over from not being at uni with you, and then you were living in that house not with me, and I was in first year, so I was in halls. I could just see this person, like, she was just being a pain. Like,
it was just
and I
crazy.
was like, why does she think that your boyfriend like together or something?
Yeah, what it felt like to me was like I was in a relation. I was in a relationship with her. I was in a toxic relationship. That's what it felt like, and I eventually had just had too much.
You.
Yeah, I really never asked for it. I really never wanted it. I think just I'm quite a placid person when it comes to like friends. Like I'll kind of just go with the flow. Like
you are. I think you're just a genuinely a nice person. So you do make friends. Like you have a lot of friends, and I feel like some people. You know what I mean?
Some people maybe would take advantage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, but then when I say take advantage, it kind of sounds like maybe I'm like a bit naive, but
no,
I always knew what was going on. I just couldn't be bothered.
Couldn't be bothered for the argument.
That's the difference. But then when it got to a point where couldn't be ignored anymore, like you're actually being rude to me and taking the mick.
It's when we were trying to like combine our groups together because so I was in my first year flat and I had girls from there, and then you had your house and girls you'd met the year before.
Yeah.
And we were planning on living together, weren't we? That was
the
plan.
Combine
so we were
it.
Combining it so we could like go for a drink. We literally went for one drink and it was bloody eventful. Like all these things were happening, all these arguments happening.
I've never experienced something like that before, so that to me was like a big telltale sign. Here's me like inviting you into my friendship group and you're just acting like they're a bunch of weirdos. Like, sorry, they're not a bunch of weirdos. Actually, you're a weirdo. But basically, where I was going with that was like friendships shouldn't be like relationships, in my opinion. No. When that friendship ended, it had to end very like, we'd gone through all the steps that we spoke about earlier. So I tried the slipping away, I tried the having a conversation, and none of them worked. So in the end, it had to be straight up, not talking to you, I didn't block her on anything. I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. But it was like, can't talk to you, can't ever see you, literally have to ignore you because you're not getting the
bear in mind they lived in the same house.
Such a difficult situation.
But I didn't like it because she made you feel like you shouldn't be there.
Oh my God, it was
rather
so
than
horrible.
Because she was quite manipulative and would make it like you were the bad person when
in reality, yeah. When I look back on it now, I see it this way, and I think it's probably a good way to see it. I just think that I don't think she's a bad person. I just think that she expects a lot more from friendships than I do. And that's fine. Like, obviously, maybe her and her friends at home are very much like that, and they know where they're going, and they know each other's movements all the time, and that's fine. But I just wasn't used to that, and I wasn't interested in it. But yeah, that's when it comes to, like, answering that question about whether friendships should be like relationships, that's when, for me, it was the end, because I was like, you're texting me paragraphs.
Too much effort. Yeah.
Making it seem like I'm your boyfriend that's like cheated on you or something. No, I'm meant to be your friend. Like, we're not doing this. No, absolutely not. So to me,
I just don't get where she was going with all the paragraphs. Like, did she think she was making it better?
I don't know, because I would never send any back.
Oh no,
I'd never send any back. I wasn't entertaining it. Oh God, it was absolutely mental.
I think if you're meant to be friends with somebody, it's just easy. Conversation's easy. You chat about anything. Like, I don't feel like the only time I've ever had to cut somebody out is if they're too they're too much, like trying to be in a relationship with you.
Exactly.
That's the only time. Maybe all those people should all be friends together.
Maybe. I think they're trying to find someone like that.
Yeah.
They need to find those people.
Yeah.
Don't expect everyone to expect the same out of a friendship than you do. You've just got to try and
in the end, there's no pressure on friendship. Like,
no, it's meant to be fun.
I'm friends with people like that I met on Tumblr like years ago. That you're friends with them, but you can also be friends with like it's like you're friends with everyone. Be friends.
Be everyone's friend.
You do you, boo. Literally, you've got too much going on.
There's too much going on. No one's got time for that.
No.
So, our next topic is girls being jealous of their friends and their success, so not being able to be happy for people.
I do feel like, especially with girls, this happens a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like especially in maybe the area of work or interest that maybe we have and our friends have.
Yes.
It's hard when you see people succeeding. Like, I just think especially for me, I big up all my friends all the time. Like, if they're doing something cool, I'm like sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I am. But maybe some people, I think maybe some people that aren't in our situation and maybe don't understand how important it is to big up your friends, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I just think you should really, even it can be hard to be happy for people sometimes when they've got what you want.
Yeah.
That's usually the way that it goes. Like, you'd only be you're not unhappy for someone, but you'd only not big someone's success up if it's jealousy, basically.
Yeah.
And I think we all can do that sometimes. But I think what I try and do, if I ever feel that way, is flip it and think of it more as like how can they help me in the future?
Yeah, literally, that's what I think. I'm like, oh, you get that job. I'm like, when you're applying for jobs, like, oh, Ellie will be able to get me a job.
Exactly, you have to think like that. It's like, right, well, they've got that anyway, so let's be happy for them, get on board with what they're doing, and then in the future they might be able to help me with something I'm interested in.
Exactly, I feel like if you get more people that are more successful, then you got a better network, then you're just going to get more places.
Exactly. I also just think, like, recently a lot of like the girls in our lives have started like side hustles, and I just think it's great. Like, I want everyone around me to be doing that kind of thing.
It's so exciting.
I find it so exciting and it's so uplifting, and especially it's just like yes,
over lockdown, everyone's doing their own thing. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
As you probably all know, I've started about 10 million Instagram profiles.
You better be following them all.
I think both of us the same. We like to be busy, so we start all these little things. So I love hearing about it, and I feel like I love being at uni because around people that all are kind of with the same mindset, because it makes me more inspired to like do something with my life. It makes me feel like, oh my god, like, this is so exciting, let's all like push ourselves really hard. And
that's exactly how it makes me feel, and I just think it's exciting.
I wouldn't feel jealous, I'd just feel like, really, it's going to help you.
It's going to help you. So if you don't feel genuinely happy for them just because they're your friend, try and see it as something you can gain from. And then if you're the person that's got the success and the people around you aren't bigging you up, then
like, sometimes
I'm sorry,
you just
basically.
Have to be, that's shit. Maybe in your new direction there's a set of people that inspire you to carry on with that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, as well, like success, like one of my favourite podcasts, they ask each guest like what their definition of success is, and everyone says completely different things. And I think that's something that is happening, especially right now in like our age group. Success for one person could be what like me, just finishing a degree. Success for one of my other friends could be their baby said their first word, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So it can be something completely different, and you just need to be happy for everyone at the thing that they're doing, the thing that they're interested in. It might not be what you're interested in, but try and understand it from their point of view. Just especially girls, girls need to just big each other up,
because girls can be so bitchy, but
it's not nice.
It's not worth it.
And actually, when you get older, you realise that no one actually wants to be like that. Like, actually, it's much nicer to just be a nice person. It's not cool.
It's much easier to be a nice person.
It's so much easier.
Oh, it's just so... I just love it at the moment. It's given me, like, little heart fluters. I want to see everyone doing their own thing.
Like, yay!
Makes me excited. And inside,
sending everyone the clap emojis on Instagram stories.
Literally, I'm replying to everyone's things like, woo! You look amazing!
Literally.
Keep up your girls.
Yeah, and if you've got something that you're wanting to do
it.
Just do it.
Fucking do it.
We've been talking about making some sort of YouTube for like 3
God,
years or something.
We just did it.
Just do it, and it's not actually as scary as you think it'll be. Long distance friendships.
Oh yeah, I feel like we can both relate, especially from moving as being this age. People are moving to uni. Maybe they're staying there. Maybe it's your friends have moved to uni. Because I know, like, when I was at home and like you'd gone to uni, like some of my friends had gone to uni, and it was like the people that were left at home, it's like, oh, they're just here.
What are we doing?
And, like, they're so far away, and you can't go see them all the time because it is just so much effort. Like,
and it costs a lot as well.
You can't expect them to come home all the time, and things just drift a bit, but it is hard. Especially going back to what I said earlier, from me being at uni and watching my friends all be together.
Yeah,
it's hard.
It is really hard, and it's prime FOMO time basically.
Because I do find it, especially because I work in retail, I have to work weekends. I have to plan a weekend event
yeah.
weeks in advance. And like most people don't have to do that, but I have to, and that's the only way I can kind of keep
I think it keeps you accountable as well, though. If you're like putting dates in the diary, I just think that's the best way to do it, basically. You put dates in the diary and it's something to look forward to, and then when you see each other then it's like, right, when can I see you next? When can I see you next?
Just a bit more planned.
I have a friendship that right now is not long distance because of COVID, but usually I have a friend that works abroad, like really far away, can't ever see her usually. And as I was saying earlier, like I'm a rubbish texter. I hate texting other than like you, basically.
I don't think we ever actually have conversations.
No,
like
it's not
random
conversations,
things.
it's just sending links usually. So with her, it's quite difficult because we're kind of both as bad as each other in that respect. But whenever we're at home, we try and see each other. Like we don't see each other that often, but we have like, it's like a mutual agreement. It's like when we see each other, it's like we'd never not been together. Do you know what I mean? And I think if you find a friend that you can literally be on the opposite side of the world, but when you come together, it's like nothing changed. I think that's something really special that you have to hold on to. You can't just not make plans and then hope that it's going to work.
Because it is a two-way thing, and if you're like, oh, they haven't messaged me, I'm like, just, if you miss them, message them. Like, they will appreciate it as much as you. They're probably just really busy.
Yeah.
I'm back for this month because I'm back home. And I've literally got pretty much every day just already full because I'm like, I need to do all these things.
You have to.
But it's like, oh my god, I need to fit in doing something with you.
You and you.
So if anyone wants to see me, text me.
Yeah, good luck getting a space. Yeah. I think long distance friendships is like the only time I would say you kind of have to like put effort into.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean crazy effort, I just mean
especially
planning
if
things. If
you're at home and like somebody's far away, it is hard for them as well because they're probably on their own. Like they might not have that group that they have at home, so it is. You just got to remember remember the people that are far away. The far away people remember the people at home. Like, it might not be as often as usual, but
that's okay.
That's okay.
Friendships grow, and as you get older, it's just natural. It's what happens, and I think don't get too stressed out about it because it is what naturally happens, and unfortunately it'll carry on.
End of the day, they're only a drive away.
Yeah.
It's not on the podcast.
Well, talking about friendships as you grow older, the next topic we've been given is making friends as an adult.
Oh, this scares me.
It is quite scary.
Most of my friends are pretty much from school or like, and then I've got a few that have kind of like we've met in events or like when we've been drunk because of mutual friends.
Yeah.
Like we've had something in common, but like especially going into a new job, like obviously you've graduated now, you're going into a new job and maybe moving away, like you'll be in a place where you don't know anyone. Nobody. And how do you even meet people? I don't know.
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I can't really give any solid advice on this because I haven't been in that situation yet. And I think a very outgoing person would probably say like, you gotta like join a club, but I don't go to clubs.
No,
like I don't go to clubs. I don't do sports.
I think if I don't know, if I'm in a group where I don't really know anyone, I'm very quiet. I'm very shy.
Yeah.
If you know, and then if you get to know me, then I'm just not.
Not at all. Yeah.
I said to Joe, because if we moved away after uni, I was like, oh, you can get Bumble for friends. We just have to do that.
You can, I mean, it does sound a bit weird.
If anyone's ever gone on Bumble for friends, comment down below.
Yeah, let us know how it worked because it's got, as far as I know, it's got a very good success rate. Like, obviously it works for some people.
And I feel like there's always the same sort of person that goes on them sort of things, you know what I mean?
True.
Like, am I that sort of person? Or am I going to find somebody that's going to be the same sort of person as me?
I don't know. So then maybe in that case you need to think like, what kind of person do I want to be friends with? Okay, where will they be?
Yeah.
Or the easiest way to do it is to just make friends at work to start with and then meet them. Or if you're moving somewhere on your own, maybe a shared house would be the way to start.
Because I know living on your own seems nice, but it does get lonely living in a shared house.
Oh, sorry.
You always could just be like, let's go for a drink. Then you meet their friends and you can meet them. And then when you're in a group, it gets more social and you start talking to people. Like, that's just how things grow.
It's very daunting. But I think you just need to think at every other point in your life, you have done it. So when I went, you've done the same thing. We literally made friends through this situation, but going from like school to college, I was terrified.
Oh my
like
God.
the idea, I was just like, I'm never ever going to make any friends. I'm never going to make any friends. That's it. I'm never going to have any friends again. And then you just do.
We made friends.
Yeah, exactly. You did it in primary school. You did it in secondary school. You did it at uni. Like, you do it. People are good at making friends.
Especially, I feel like if you've done it at uni and you've made some friends, that's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. So, you can do it. Like, everyone's in the same boat. No, I think if someone turns down making a new friend, that's pretty weird.
Yeah, if you talk to somebody and they know that you're new at work or you're like on your own, they're not going to be rude. Like most people are nice.
I don't.
Am I boring you?
No, but I haven't even done nothing and I'm tired. I'm
You
just
make
cozy.
really on.
I'm just cozy.
It's a tea.
It must be nice
That's
than
what you can
going
do
to a
with
new
friend. You can
Yeah.
have another friend. Have 10 more.
Literally,
All
there's
the new
no
people.
limit on how many friends you can have. So if there's someone new in your class or there's someone new in your work, try and make friends with them. You never know, they could be your soul mate. You're really good at like meeting someone on a night out, and you were like, for me, firstly, I don't really meet people on nights out. It's just not how I am.
I've always found a friend.
But then you also like, you don't just meet them once and then that's it. Like, you'll get their number and then you'll see each other the next time that person's playing. Or I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And make plans. Like, put yourself out there. If someone's like going to the same event as you, even if they're not your closest friends, ask them to come and pre at your house.
Pre at ours? Like, let's just do it.
Why not? The more the merrier.
Literally, I know from like going to Ibiza, we've met people that then we end up going every single year with the same people, like the same time. Yeah, it's just quite nice.
Like, I told this to a friend recently who was like going on a date with someone. I don't know who I think I am, like a guru or something, but I just think like if it's someone new, they don't know you and they don't know your personality, so you can be as confident as you want, and to them,
whoever you want to be.
Yeah, like they're not, because if for example like we went out one night and like you were acting completely differently and I know you, so I'd be like, why is she acting differently? But this person doesn't know you, so you act however you want. If you want to be the confident person that walks up to a stranger and asks them whether they want to be your friend, do it. Like, they don't know otherwise, and I think it's great.
Especially with girls, I feel like the easiest way to do it is if you're in the toilet or you're like sat outside, love your shoes,
look amazing.
Where's your bag from? You look so good, and then you start chatting.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done that quite a lot.
I've always found really confident girls really intriguing. Like, I always, whenever I've met them, I always think like, oh God, I'd love to be a bit more like you.
These people that just know everyone, you're like, they're just gliding around. Like,
gliding around the room like, hi.
I know you, hi. Remember me, buy me a drink?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, what? How do you know these people?
And that's just because they're nice to people and they're confident.
Yeah. Well, they might not even be confident, they're just confident in how they portray themselves, if you know what I mean.
Exactly, and no one needs to know otherwise.
No.
So yeah,
pretend to be. What we were supposed to talk about,
like making friends as an adult.
Yeah.
Basically, fake it until you make it.
Yes, fake it until you make it with everything. I think
that's it.
Well, that was quite a nice little chit chat. We didn't have to drink.
No drinking. Oh, I do enjoy drinking.
We do enjoy it.
Don't worry, if you like the drinking videos, there will be
more.
And please send us some ideas as well.
Yeah. What do you want to see, or what have you seen other people do that like you want us to do?
Yeah.
Or funny things, challenges, anything.
Anything. And if you just think like, who do you think you are, Ella and Ellie, giving me advice? Then let us know. Tell us you don't care.
Just say, I don't care.
We don't care about your advice.
Well, we're just going to still give it to you anyway.
We're going to give it anyway.
We just like talking.
But maybe in future we might do some boy talk or life.
So I feel like there's a lot we could say about relationships.
Yeah, a lot.
Or do you want to just see us get drunk? Like, what do you want?
I hope you liked our new setup for today.
Might be here again.
The glittery wall. And thank you to everyone who sent in any stories or questions or dilemmas.
We do really appreciate everything that...
Yeah, we really do.
When people have shared us or liked us or subscribed, like, we really appreciate it.
Like we were saying, everyone just needs to big everyone up.
So if you're watching and you're not subscribed...
We see you.
We see you.
Thank you to everyone that has, though, because we've got quite a lot. And we're happy
there's
with
gone
them.
up quite a few over the weekend, probably from me forcefully getting people to subscribe on nights out.
Down their throats. Well, we'll see you next Thursday for another episode.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is yet. Something fun.
It'll be a surprise.
A surprise.
Surprise to us at the moment.
Wow, cheers our tea that's gone and cold.